కృపావార్త కార్యక్రమమునకు స్వాగతం. నేటి ధ్యానాంశము ప్రార్థన, ప్రేయర్. ఎడతెగక ప్రార్థన చేయుడి. ప్రే వితౌట్ సీజింగ్. నిశిధరాత్రియే రాజ్యమెల నక్షత్రకాంతి మాందగిల. నిశిధరాత్రియే రాజ్యమెల నక్షత్రకాంతి మాందగిల. చీకటి తోటలో ఒంటరిగా శ్రమలో ప్రభువు ప్రార్థించే. నిశిధరాత్రి వేదనలు మరువాలేని దృశ్యాలు. చీకటి తోటలో ఒంటరిగా శ్రమలో ప్రభువు ప్రార్థించే. తాను ప్రేమించిన శిష్యుండే ప్రభుని స్థితిని గుర్తింపడాయే. నిశిధరాత్రి వేదనలు మరువాలేని దృశ్యాలు. చీకటి తోటలో ఒంటరిగా శ్రమలో ప్రభువు ప్రార్థించే. Christ preached what he practiced and practiced what he has preached. So, without any hesitation, we can follow the footsteps of Jesus Christ. Where are the footsteps of Jesus Christ? The footsteps have erased. Christ has walked on the face of the earth 2 millennia before. How can the footsteps of Jesus Christ can still be visible? How can we follow the footsteps of Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ tasted death like any other human being. Jesus Christ was buried in the earth like any other human being. How can we follow the footsteps of Jesus Christ? Arimathea Joseph of Arimathea, Nicodemus, Mary Magdalene have not asked this question. Even after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, even after the burial of Jesus Christ, their love for Jesus remained. They continue to love Jesus. After the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, Joseph of Arimathea goes to the judge Pilate, requesting the body of Jesus Christ. to bury the body of Jesus. Only once Joseph of Arimathea is referred in the Gospel, and that too concerning the burial of Jesus Christ. In those days, there was a custom, there was a tradition, especially the rich, the people of high societal position used to prepare graves for themselves prior to their death. What does it profit a man if he lives so luxuriously with so much luxury, with so much splendor, gains much popularity, gains much name, and at the end of the day he is not buried properly? The virtue, the worthiness, the nobility of a man is known upon his death. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his believers, his people, his saints, his chosen ones, those that love God. In the sight of God, the death of Jesus Christ is the most precious. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son Jesus Christ, that whosoever believe in Lord Jesus Christ will not perish but will have everlasting life. To give everlasting life to man, the only way God has chosen is through the offering of his only begotten Son Jesus Christ. While we were yet sinners, the righteous Son of God died in your place, in my place, so that we need not taste the pains of death, the sorrows of death. So today we can boldly, we can confidently say, I fear no death. Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I fear no evil. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23. How David has got this confidence? How come David is so brave, so confident, not even fearing the snares of death, the pains of death? Because before writing Psalm 23, David has seen the vision of crucifixion of Christ on the cross, Psalm 22. Psalm 23 follows Psalm 22. In Psalm 22, prophet David is writing the crucifixion of Messiah. Many centuries before the advent of Jesus Christ in the form of flesh and blood, prophet David is foreseeing the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. Many centuries before, prophet Isaiah prophesying regarding the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. What a wonderful similarity. Psalm 22 and Isaiah 53. These two passages, these two chapters, these two prophecies do not belong to same time. Psalm 22 was prophesied during the times of David. Isaiah chapter 53 comes after many centuries after the prophecy of David. Yet we see close resemblance between these two chapters, Psalm 22 and Isaiah chapter 53. Both prophets are clearly seeing the vision of crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. If you are not familiar with visions, how can anyone make you acquaint with the clarity of the visions? Are you aware of the visions that you receive? Do you know what is happening during the sleep cycle during the night? I have dreamt a dream, I have forgotten the dream. I have dreamt a dream, I have forgotten the dream. During the times of Joseph, many millennia before the times of David, the king reigning over Egypt says, I have dreamt a dream, I have forgotten what I have dreamt. Very few people can ever recollect, can ever remember the things that are happening in the dreams. And quite often it so happens that such messages will be concerning the future happenings. I have dreamt a dream, I have forgotten the dream. I want someone to reveal the dream that I have dreamt and also interpret the dream for me. The king reigning over Egypt sends message throughout the kingdom of Egypt, throughout the banks of river Nile. In those days, Egypt was called the gift of Nile. Egypt was so fertile, was so rich. When the land is on the banks of a river, obviously the land will be fertile, the soil will be fertile. When the soil is fertile, when there are water resources available in abundance, available plenty, what will happen? There will be much harvest. When there is harvest, when there is fruit of soil, when there is fruit of earth, when there is fruit of land, obviously there will be prosperity, there will be riches, there will be gold, there will be silver. All things will follow once the harvest is abundant. People will be strong, people will be healthy because they have good food, and sound mind dwells in sound body. When their body is strong, when their health is strong, they can act well. They will have strong mind. Obviously, metallurgy and many other innovations flourish. There will be gold, there will be bronze, there will be all kinds of metals. All are connected to the yield of the fruit of the soil. And Egypt was called the gift of Nile. In those days, the king ruling over Egypt, Pharaoh, dreams a dream. I have dreamt a dream and I have forgotten the dream. Is there someone that can reveal me what I have dreamt and can interpret the dream, meaning of the dream? The king summons to all the wise men, similar to the present day scientists. The king summons to all the wise men. The king sends the message to all the astrologers, magicians, practitioners of black magic, practitioners of witchcraft, and all kinds of knowledge. When all the wise men, all the astrologers, all the black magicians, all the ministers gather in the court of the Pharaoh, they will be surprised. The matter that the king wants to know is beyond the realm of any human being. How can man know what the king has dreamt? If you are to tell us the dream, we will be able to reveal the meaning of the dream. Then the king will be furious. The king will be very annoyed. You are just making fun of me. You are trying to buy the time. You are trying to waste the time, knowing fully well I have forgotten the dream. You are mocking at me. If you do not reveal me the dream that I have dreamt and interpret the meaning of the dream, I will make your houses dunghill. You will be killed in no time. You will be persecuted. You will be executed. So many threats, and everyone was fear. Who will not fear the command of the king? Who will not fear the anger of the king? Who will not fear the anger of the ruler? All the wise men, the magicians, the practitioners of witchcraft, the practitioners of black magic were all so fearful, not knowing what to do. Their life is at stake. They were so fearful. By then, Joseph was wrongly imprisoned and was serving the sentence in the prison. Even if the righteous were to fall for 7 times, he will not be able to stand again. He will be again standing up. He will be again rising up. Even if the righteous were to fall for 7 times, the God will make them rise up again. How many falls, how many failures, how much agony, how much sorrow, how much betrayal, how many tears. Joseph, young Joseph in his youth, without any wrong on himself. Are you misunderstood? Are you ill-treated? Are you betrayed? Are you in prison? Do not be sorrowful. Nothing is invisible to God. He that has formed the eyes, will he not see? He that has formed the ears, will he not hear? Joseph has every reason to murmur, every reason to grumble, every reason to question the existence of God. These days are no different. With no wrong on their side, many youngsters are wrongly misunderstood, wrongly imprisoned, with so many false cases on them. The young person will be nowhere related to terrorism, nowhere related to militancy, yet out of suspicion, because of his faith, because of his name, because of his way of talking. It could be any other thing. Many are misunderstood and false cases are being implicated upon them and they are imprisoned. That is the reason why Jesus is saying, pray for those that are in prison, as if you were to be in prison. This is what is called loving our neighbor as we love ourselves. Imagine you are homeless. How painful it will be, how sorrowful it will be. It was raining, you are homeless, there is no shade upon your head, and you will be shivering, you have no clothing, you have no blanket. You are just on open space, in open space. How sorrowful it is, how painful it is. Won't you expect help from God? Won't you expect a home, a dwelling? Imagine if you are to be a prisoner, wrongly imprisoned, with no fault on yourself. Not only falsely imprisoned, ill-treated, humiliated, subjected to much violence. How painful it will be. Are there no men, are there no women suffering? Are there no youngsters that have been losing their lives just because of some kind of suspicion, some kind of doubt? Hypothesis is different, conclusion is different. From hypothesis to conclusion, from hypothesis to conviction, there is much process of investigation, and the investigation should be done in a proper way. so that justice will be rendered. Because you have hypothesized someone to be a terrorist, can you conclude that he is a terrorist? Can you label him that he is a militant and accuse him and imprison him? Is this justice? That's what has happened with the life of Joseph. Whatever his wife has said is gospel truth to Potiphar, the soldier serving under the reign of the Pharaoh. Potiphar has authority, Potiphar has power because he is close to the king. Are you close to the king? Do you have authority? Do you have power? Are you a soldier? Are you mighty? Are you strong? Are you powerful? Then how are you using your power? Prophet, what shall we do? The soldiers coming to the prophet in the wilderness, John the Baptist, and are asking. Who is asking? Jesus Christ. Who is seeking the counsel of Jesus Christ? Who wants the counseling of Jesus Christ? Everyone is Lord of his life. Everyone is independent. I have freedom to do all things, but all things are not profitable. All things will not lead me to safety. All things will not lead me to prosperity. All things are not good for my well-being. I have freedom to do anything and everything, but all things are not profitable. Paul, how much he is disciplining his body, preaching to many. I myself may be disqualified. So, in fear, I am disciplining my body. As I walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, you can very well walk in my footsteps. Paul so confidently says to the church, whatever his wife says is the gospel truth to Potiphar. Potiphar's wife accuses this Hebrew boy that you have brought to our house has humiliated me, has insulted me. He wanted to sleep with me. He mistreated me. So many accusations, so many lies. All the accusations of Potiphar's wife were presumed to be true by Potiphar. Don't we see such blind judges? Don't we see such blind pleaders, lawyers these days? Joseph was wrongly imprisoned. Joseph was beaten up by his own siblings, put in a pit. Joseph wanted to know if their brothers were well in the wilderness, just to listen to his father Jacob, follow his commandment to know the whereabouts of his brothers in the wilderness, and to bring a message to his father if they are well, if they are safe. When Joseph approaches his brothers in the wilderness, all the elder brothers, filled with so much hatred, jealous, vengeance. This dreamer is coming, let us beat him and throw him in the pit. Let us see what will happen to his dreams. If someone were to dream a dream, is it his mistake? Is it a sin? This dreamer is coming, let us kill him and put him in the pit. Let us see what will happen to his dreams. How many people are bent on destroying the life of others? Love your neighbor as you love yourselves. If you are homeless, can you tolerate being homeless? If you are imprisoned, can you tolerate being imprisoned? Then why are you making others homeless? Why are you making others falsely implicating and accusing with so many wrong cases and putting them in prison? Prophet, what shall we do? The soldiers are coming and asking the prophet in the wilderness, John the Baptist, do not desire for money in wrong means. Do not extract money in foul means. Do not accuse anyone wrongly. If you are to have 2 clothes, give one to the one that has nothing to wear. If we listen to the word of the Lord, where will be the conflict? Where will be the suffering? Where will be the pain? Where will be lack? Where will be poverty? Simply because you do not believe in the existence of God, you presume that you can do anything and everything and all things will be well with you. God is in His heaven and all things are well with this world. In the book God of Small Things, Arundhati Roy, the Booker Prize winner, writes, of course God is in His heaven, but not all is well with this world. God is all-knowing, God is all-seeing. Has God forgotten the false accusations laid upon Joseph? Probably only because of Joseph, only to rescue Joseph, only to lift Joseph from the prison, from nothingness, from sorrow, from agony, from hopelessness. God might have sent His message to the king. I have dreamt a dream. Why will you not dream if you listen to your soldiers and follow the footsteps of your soldiers? Whatever the diplomats say is gospel truth to you. Whatever your counselors say is gospel truth to you. If someone were to accuse someone, you will put them in prison without being aware of what is true, what is not true. Why will you not dream a dream? I have dreamt a dream. This Pharaoh is not even aware that there is someone by name Joseph imprisoned wrongly. Yet Jesus is aware of each of those imprisoned with false accusations. Call unto me in the day of trouble, I will answer you. Your very hairs are numbered. Are you imprisoned? Are you in agony? Are you in sorrow? Are you in hopelessness? Are you expecting release? Are you expecting deliverance? This world, authors of high reputed award winners will write, God is in His heaven and all is well with this world. Do not believe such statements. All is not well with this world and God is not unaware of what is happening in this world. Do not lose hope. The one and the only one authentic and original book that should be trustworthy in your life is the Bible. Because someone has won Nobel Prize for literature, he is no saint, he is no gospel preacher. What all he has written need not be gospel truth. God is in His heaven and all is well with this foul world. Not well. Read the last page of the Bible. The last page of the Bible comforts you. Let the unjust be unjust still. Let the unclean be unclean still. Let the righteous be righteous still. Let the holy be holy still. Behold, I have prepared the wages to give to everyone according to their own deeds. God is in His heaven and God is aware of all things that are happening on this planet Earth, even of the minutest of the details. Do you know that your very hairs are numbered? Joseph was hated. Joseph was beaten up, was put in pit. There was no wrong upon himself. He was not hating his brothers. He was not finding fault with his brothers. Let us beat him up. Let us beat this dreamer and throw him into the pit. We will see what will happen to his dreams. What has happened? All the dreams of Joseph have come true. Not by strength, not by might, I will do it with my spirit. You can close with your palm, with your hands, your eyes, but not the light of the sun. You cannot block the light of the sun simply because you close your eyes with your hands and say it is dark. Will the day become dark? God is in his heaven and all is well with this foul world. If you have closed your eyes, of course, the sun will not be visible to you. Of course, everything will be dark to you. It doesn't mean that God is remaining silent in his heaven and not aware of all the things that are happening in this world. Probably only to rescue Joseph from misery, from trial, from injustice. God might have sent forth the message to the king over Egypt. I have dreamt a dream. I even do not know there is some foreigner who has been sold by Ishmaelites to Potiphar. I am not aware that there is a foreigner that has landed in my country suffering, unjustly being imprisoned. Nothing is foreign in the sight of God. Heaven and earth belong to the Lord. All the 1.4 billion people in China, all the 1.5 billion people in India, maybe 1.4. Each of the minutest details of each man inhabiting the planet Earth are known to God. Then one of the servants of the king says to the king, while I was in prison, while I was serving the sentence, I met a prisoner, a co-prisoner by name Joseph. Joseph revealed the dream that I have dreamt. He interpreted the meaning of the dream. I told him my dream and he revealed the meaning of the dream, and as per the interpretation that Joseph has given to the dream, it has happened to me, and not only to me, to my friend as well. As Joseph has interpreted the dream, I was again provided with my employment. Likewise, my co-prisoner, one of my co-prisoners that was also put in prison with an accusation of wrongdoing to the king, Joseph has told that he will be hanged to death in 3 days. As per the interpretation given by Joseph, it has happened to me as well as to my colleague. My colleague was hanged to death. The message reaches the king. The king immediately sends a message to Joseph in prison. Joseph visits the king and stands before the king. I have dreamt a dream. I want someone to reveal me the dream and interpret the meaning of the dream. Then Joseph says, the secret things belong to the Lord. It is not in my capacity to reveal the thing that the king is asking. I will consult, I will seek the counsel of the maker of heaven and earth, and if God reveals me the secret thing, mysterious thing, I will deliver it to the king. Upon the petition of Joseph, God reveals the dream that the king has dreamt. And the king was astonished. Can angels dwell with men? An excellent spirit is dwelling in you. There is none in this kingdom like you with the wisdom from above. I appoint you as authority over all this land, over all Egypt. Probably Joseph was fervently praying in the prison for the deliverance. Potiphar has seen the righteousness of Joseph. Potiphar is quite aware of the righteous attitude of Joseph. Yet, he could not render justice to Joseph, to a foreigner. You yourselves were foreigners in a foreign land for 450 years, so you know very well the heart of the foreigner. Do not oppress the foreigner. In the book of Leviticus, Moshe in the law writes to the children of Jacob, these are the commandments that you have to follow all through your stay in the promised land. Then you will flourish. Then you will flourish forever. You will lack nothing. The land that you are going to be inheriting is flowing with milk and honey. There will be abundance. There will be plenty. The eyes of the Lord are upon that land from the year beginning to the year end. Such is the land you are going to inherit. The land is blessed with much of mineral wealth. The stones of the land will give you much copper. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 17. Behold, I bring gold for brass, for iron, silver, for stone, iron, for stick, brass. GSBI rule. Gold, silver, brass, iron. GSBI rule. The land is blessed with much mineral wealth. Behold, for brass I bring gold, for iron, silver, for stick, brass, for stone, iron. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 17. I only have stone, I only have stick. Doesn't matter, do not worry. I am only in prison, I am helpless. There is no one to defend me, there is no one to plead my cause. There is no advocate for me, there is no judge on my side. Jesus Christ is the advocate to the fatherless. Jesus Christ is the advocate to the widows. Place your case in the hands of the Lord. Place your petition at the feet of the Lord. You will be delivered, you will be rescued. Because Jesus Christ was tempted in all things just as we are being tempted, He is able to deliver us from all kinds of tribulations. We do not have the high priest who is not able to sympathize with our weaknesses. And this high priest is Jesus Christ Himself. Jesus Christ is our high priest. What does the high priest do? When you are exhausted, when you are tired, the high priest brings bread and wine to refresh you, to revive you, to strengthen you. This is the high priest in the lineage of Melchizedek. Jesus brings wine, Jesus brings bread when you are exhausted, when you are tired, when you are returning from your battle, avenging your enemies victoriously. Yehovah Nissi, Yehovah Nissi, Yehovah Nissi anuchu padedam ma dvajamu silva dvajame ma padhamu vijaya padhame Yehovah Nissi, Yehovah Nissi, Yehovah Nissi, Yehovah Nissi anuchu padedam ma padhamu vijaya padhame ma ధ్వజము విజయ ధ్వజమే యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి అనుచు పాడెదం మా పదము విజయ పదమే మా ధ్వజము విజయ ధ్వజమే హల్లెలూయ స్తోత్రమే మన ఆయుధం యేసురాక వరకే పోరాటమో ఆయుధములు భుజబలమవసరమా పరమదేవునాత్మ మనల నుండగా మనము దైవ సైన్యమే కదా మనము దైవ సైన్యమే కదా యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి యెహోవా నిసి అనుచు పాడెదం మా ధ్వజము విజయ ధ్వజమే మా పదము విజయ పదమే యెహోవా నిసి. The Lord is our banner. Joseph was praying with a need, with a petition for the secret thing to be revealed. The mysterious things and the secret things and the hidden things belong to the Lord, and Joseph was granted the vision. Joseph was revealed the message, the dream, and Joseph tells the dream and interprets the meaning of the dream to the king. King, you have seen 7 cows coming from the river. They are so stout, so beautiful, so attractive, so strong. And following these 7 cows, you have also seen another 7 cows immediately coming after these strong 7 cows, and the next second 7 cows that you have seen in your dream were so lean, so ugly to look, and these 7 ugly cows have eaten up the strong, good looking cows. And this dream was repeated twice to you. This shows that this thing is going to happen so quickly, so soon. And the 7 stout, good looking cows are 7 years of surplus, abundance, and the land will yield its fruit in abundance. There will be plenty of harvest during the 7 years, and within no time after the 7 years of plenty is completed, there will be severe drought that no country has ever seen, that Egypt has ever seen such a severe drought. And the first 7 years of plenty will be forgotten in no time because of the severity of the drought. So you have to take measure that people will not perish and live during the time of drought. Then the king appoints Joseph. There is none in the kingdom throughout the Egypt as wise as you, with the godly knowledge, with the knowledge from above. So I depute you, I anoint you to be the king over Pharaoh. You are next to me. Accept the throne. Everything is given to you, and without your knowledge, not even a single person will move their hand. You take all the necessary measures so that the people will not die due to drought. Praying men are at a premium. We see poverty all around. We see food crisis all around. We see financial crisis all around. We see job crisis all around. We see health crisis all around. Why? Praying men are at a premium. Who cares the existence of God? Who fears God? Who loves God? Development, growth comes neither from east nor from west. Ours is world richest nation. Ours is world second richest nation. It does not work. Development will not come. Growth will not come either from east or from west. Neither from desert nor from wilderness. Upliftment, growth prosperity, abundance, blessing come from God, the maker of heaven and earth. I have only sticks. That is sufficient. Go and prepare bread for me first. Bring a small bread for me. Then you can cook with the rest of the flour bread for yourself and your son. I tell you, all through the days of the drought, the flour will not be over. There will be surplus. There will be plenty for all through the days of the drought. Likewise, the oil. Listening to the word of the servant of God, Elijah. The widow of Saripot just want to pick up some dry sticks. Behold, I give brass for sticks. My life is going to end. I am going to perish. I have only very little flour and little oil in my bottle. I am going to perish. Before I die, let me make a bread for my son and for myself. This poor widow, helpless widow, was in hopelessness. No way, no hope of help. All around the kingdom there is grief, there is poverty, there is drought. I am only left with little flour and little oil. I am going to perish in hopelessness, in sorrow, in tears. Not even a hope to expect anything from God. When her faith is shaken, God reassures her faith. In the times of Prophet Elijah, there have been many widows, but Prophet Elijah was not sent to any widow except the widow of Saripot. Likewise, during the times of Prophet Elisha, there are many lepers. Prophet Elisha, during the times of Prophet Elisha, there are many lepers. Yet, only Naaman is healed. None except Naaman is healed. There are so many poor, there are so many lepers, there are so many prisoners, there are so many sick. How can God help? Is the hand of God so shortened that He cannot help? Are the ears of God have so deafened that He cannot hear? Your sins are standing as a block between you and your God. రక్షింపనేరకయుండినట్లు యెహోవా హస్తము కురచ కాలేదు, విననేరకయుండినట్లు ఆయన చెవులు మందము కాలేదు. మీ పాపములు మీకును ఆయనకును మధ్య అడ్డుగోడగా వచ్చుచున్నవి. Is there anything impossible to God? Is the hand of God so shortened that He cannot help? How can God provide for us the meat? We are so exhausted, we are frustrated. We hate to eat this manna, having no taste at all. Day after day, day after day, day after day. How long can we eat this manna? We are fed up. We want meat. All the congregation of Israelites were rebelling against the meekest servant of the Lord Moshe. How do you expect us to eat this manna that has no taste day after day, day after day, day after day? Is it not testing our patience? We will not eat this manna anymore. We want meat. When Moshe prays to the Lord, God assures, by this time tomorrow morning there will be abundance of meat for all the congregation of Israel. Lord, how is this possible? Are these a small congregation. You see great multitude of people. More than 6 million people are there. How can these people be provided with so much meat? Is this possible? Do you want me to slaughter all the livestock? Even if I slaughter all the livestock that we have in our congregation, in our midst, that will not be sufficient. How can I tell them that by tomorrow you will provide them so much meat? Moshe, do you think the hand of your God that has rescued you from the oppressive power of Pharaoh has shortened? Have you forgotten how I have delivered you from the mighty oppressive hand of Pharaoh? Have you forgotten how I made my hand pass through your hand over the waters of Red Sea and parted the waters of Red Sea? Is there anything impossible to the Lord? Go. Tell to the congregation, children of Jacob, that by tomorrow morning they will have surplus of meat. Lord, how is this possible? I cannot imagine the miracle. I cannot imagine. I can't comprehend. It is beyond my imagination. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor human heart has comprehended the things that God has prepared for those that love Him. దేవుడు తను ప్రేమించినటువంటి వారి కొరకు సిద్ధపరిచినటువంటి స్వాస్యము కంటికి కనపడదు, చెవులకు వినపడదు, హృదయానికి గోచరము కాదు. మోషే, I will cause the wind to blow. Are winds not my angels? I will cause the winds to blow, and the wind will carry many birds. They will fall in the midst of the congregation of the children of Jacob, and they will have plenty to eat. Because of the mistrust, because of the rebellion of the children of Jacob against the provision of God, against the power of God, against the sovereign authority of God, great curse falls on the camps of the Israelites in the wilderness. Venomous snakes enters into their congregation, into their midst, into the camps, and many of the Israelites were beaten by the serpents. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. What a wonderful petition. Prayer. Call unto me in the day of trouble. I will rescue you. I will deliver you. All through the 40 years of wilderness, Moshe was pleading, interceding, praying. This was the only power Moshe had. Amidst all the needs, amidst all the uncertainties, amidst all the burden, more than 6 million Israelites were opposing Moshe and rebelling against the soul of Moshe. Moshe was grieved to the point of death. In all the burdens, in all the needs, in all the uncertainties, in times of hopelessness, Moshe was pleading to provide for the presence of God. Lord, if your presence do not go with us, let us not move forward. We will not go forward if you do not accompany us. We want your cloud to show us the way. We want your pillar to provide us the needed warmth. How much bitter cold it was during the nights in the wilderness, in the desert. God provided warmth to His children amidst shivering, chilling cold. Lord, who can withstand the cold that you create? Don't we see extreme climatic conditions, severe cold, severe heat, famines, droughts, natural calamities. Where are Josephs? Where are Daniels? Where are Moshes interceding, standing between God and man, so that the wrath of God will not fall on the congregation of Israel? Lord, if you do not have heart to forgive the children of Jacob, erase my name from the book of life. What a wonderful prayer, what a wonderful petition. Pray without ceasing. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. పరమదేవుడావని తెలిసి కరములెత్తి జంటగా మోడ్చి, శిరమును వంచి సరిగను వేడిన సుంకరి ప్రార్థన నేర్పుమయా. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. శ్రేష్టమైన భావము గూర్చి శిష్య బృందముకు నేర్పితివి. పరముడ నిన్ను ప్రణుతించకను, పరముడ నిన్ను ప్రణుతించగను. పరలోక ప్రార్థన నేర్పుమయా. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. దినములోన చేసిన సేవా దైవ చిత్తముకు సరిపోవా. దీనుడవయ్యో వంటిగా కొండను చేసిన ప్రార్థన నేర్పుమయా. దీనుడవయ్యో వంటిగా కొండను చేసిన ప్రార్థన నేర్పుమయా. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. శత్రుమూక నిన్ను చుట్టుకొని సిలువ పైన నిన్ను జాంపగను. శాంతముతోని శత్రుల బ్రోవగ సలిపిన ప్రార్థన నేర్పుమయా. ప్రార్థన వినడి పావనుడా, ప్రార్థన మాకు నేర్పుమయా. Are you in a battle? Are you in poverty? Are you in prison? Are you in hunger? Are you in joblessness? Are you being oppressed? Are you suffering injustice? Whatever may be your battle, small or great, the solution, the key for all the battles you are facing is prayer. Prayer changes things. Prayer gives victory. That is why Jesus asks us to do one thing: pray without ceasing. Because Jesus practiced what he preached, and Jesus preached what he practiced. Prayer and Jesus were no different, are not separate. The life of Jesus Christ is so intimately related to prayer. Early in the morning, before dawn, before sunrise, Jesus wakes up and goes to lonely place and prays to the Father. Likewise, by the dusk, by the end of the day, night, Jesus goes to the remote place, onto the olive mounts, and prays in solitude. Jesus waged 3 battles while he was on the planet Earth in flesh and blood, to destroy the works of the devil and to put an end to the works of devil, to overcome death and to deliver man from the fears of death and open the gates of eternity before man, and to make Satan fall at the feet of men. Rebuke the Satan, it will flee away from you. You are no more under the oppression of Satan. The spirit of Pharaoh can nowhere oppress you, provided you believe in Jesus Christ. Take the name Jesus.